All right, so today we're diving into a story that just completely imploded online. It started out looking like this picture-perfect celebrity friendship, But it ended in a total mess. And believe me, this is way more than just typical teenage drama. This whole feud kicked off a massive conversation about what it's really like to grow up with a camera always on you.
So the big question is, what on earth could tear a friend group like this apart? I mean, they seemed inseparable. So let's get into it and break down exactly what went down, step by step. Okay, so for a while, Northwest, Leah, and Everly were this super tight-knit group, right? People even called them the Colored Wig Trio. They were literally always together, jet-setting around the world, hitting up parties, and of course, posting all of it for everyone to see. And then, almost overnight, poof, Leah and Everly just completely disappeared from North's social media.
All right, so to really get what's happening here, we first got to know who we're talking about. Let's meet the key players in North's inner circle. So at the center of this whole storm, of course, is Northwest. She's 12 years old, and as you probably know, she's the daughter of Kim Kardashian and Kanye West. And she has this huge social media platform, which, by the way, is technically a joint account with her mom.
Then you have her original crew, Everly and Leah. Everly, who's 13, is the granddaughter of the founder of the Cheesecake Factory. Yeah, that Cheesecake Factory, a literal billionaire family. And then there's Leah, also 13, whose dad is a big-shot tech entrepreneur. These two were North's ride-or-die, longtime best friends.
And this is where Sophia enters the picture. Now, she's a bit older than the rest, at 15, and she already had her own thing going on, her own social media following before she linked up with them. And trust me, she is right at the heart of this entire controversy.
So how did this all unravel? Well, it all kicked off with a really serious allegation. And from that one moment, we got two completely different stories, turning what should have been a private issue into a massive public showdown.
Okay, so here's where the two stories just completely diverge. On one side, you have Sophia, who claims she was just protecting North from some really awful racist comments made by her supposed best friends. But then, Leah and Everly have a totally different take. They say Sophia made the whole thing up, that she twisted their words to drive a wedge between them and North, all to get closer to the fame.
And the fallout was wow. It was instant and it was total. North went on her social media and just scrubbed it clean. Every single photo, every video of Everly and Leah, gone. It was literally like they were erased from her life.
You know, a drama this big wasn't going to stay behind closed doors for long. Nope, it spilled right out into the public, with everyone, the fans, and even the girls themselves, basically starting a war in the comment sections all over social media. And it was the fans who really picked up on it first. Over on platforms like X, they saw that something was up, that the girls were missing from North's posts. And as you can see right here, that story about racist comments, it started spreading like wildfire.
Almost immediately, people started picking sides. Tons of fans rushed over to Leah's personal TikTok, flooding her with comments and messages of support. They were making it pretty clear that they were on Team Leah and Everly. But Sophia wasn't about to stay quiet. She hopped on a social media live to tell her side of things. She was pretty emotional, claiming her old friends were fake and that if anything, she was the actual victim in all of this. But she also said she didn't have permission to tell the whole story, which is interesting.
And then things got even more bizarre. This post, which people are saying came from the official Kim and North account, popped up. It seemed like it was trying to shut the whole conversation down. But the message was so confusing. It defended Sophia, but also told everyone to mind their own business. All it really did was add more fuel to the fire.
So, you see, this whole messy friend drama, it ended up being about something much, much bigger. It really opened the floodgates for some serious conversations and concerns about North's lifestyle and what it's like growing up so famous.
People online were quick to point out that, hey, this is not the life of a normal 12-year-old. You've got her partying at Coachella, flying on private jets with her friends, attending these huge events with rappers and designers, even hanging out with 25-year-olds on New Year's Eve. A lot of people started arguing that she's being exposed to a world that's just way too grown up for her.
And these concerns really boiled over at Coachella. You know Coachella, it's this massive music festival with a huge party vibe. It's not exactly the first place you'd think of as kid-friendly. Now what's really wild here is where the concern came from.
It wasn't a parent, it wasn't a bodyguard, it was the rapper Young Thug. He was in the middle of his performance on stage when he literally stopped to yell for someone to get North out of the way of a dangerous mosh pit that was starting to form.
And that moment right there sparked a huge question online. When a rapper on stage seems more worried about your kid's safety than their parent, what does that say? Reports say Kim Kardashian was at the festival too, just not with North at that moment. The fact that an artist had to step in and be the responsible adult, well, it definitely raised some eyebrows about supervision.
And maybe, just maybe, North is more aware of her situation than people think. Check out this lyric from one of her own songs. It kind of hints that she knows the people around her might not be real friends, more like fans. You wouldn't understand. That says a lot.
Because of all this, people online have started using a specific phrase for it, the Drew Barrymore experience. They're making a direct comparison between what's happening with North and the famously difficult childhoods of other stars, like Drew, who were thrown into parties and nightlife at a super young age, and they're worried about what that could mean for her future.
So it really leaves you with this big, kind of heavy question, right? In this day and age, with social media everywhere, with every move being watched, is it even possible for a kid born into that much fame to just be a kid? Or is growing up in that spotlight just an impossible maze from the very beginning?